Okay, again, welcome everybody to this session of talking about reasons why many entrepreneurs find it difficult to finance or raise money for their businesses, and definitely some recommendation of the things that you can do. And I'm bringing a couple of great panelists here. Ambe Nickson, who is an expert as far as investment is concerned. He has not only succeeded to raise good investments for his own businesses, but he is currently running an acceleration program where he is training young entrepreneurs and financing them to be very sustainable. We also have Paul Mbua. Paul Mbua has incredible experience in working with entrepreneurs and linking them up with venture capitalists, angel investors, debt financing, and what of you is going to be sharing experiences not only in Cameroon, but outside of the country. We also have Mr. Teke Samuel, who runs an incredible agricultural company, which you can tell one of the fastest growing companies in the country. And of course, he also has an investment arm of the business known as Teke, and Teke identify startups and businesses and projects within the country, and they finance these businesses. So these are people that have not only raised money, but they have money to give out to sustainable businesses. So the question is, what are they looking at before they help you get that money? And of course, the main reason why I decided to bring them together was because a few days back, part of our business also announced a business financing opportunity to finance some businesses to the tune of almost 500,000 francs. And many people were given some complaints of why they cannot get the opportunity, and it was totally mind-blowing. For example, some of the requirements included that these people should send in the income and expenditure statement of their business for the last 2 months. And an entrepreneur will come inbox and tell me that they do not know or have income and expenditure statement. Another one was asking me, how do you prepare a sales record for your business? That is the main reason why I decided to do it, because sometimes many people are looking for money and they miss some of the most important things that qualifies you to actually raise that money. So let's begin and make sure that our experts and entrepreneurs are here. Mr. Paul, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Good, thank you so much. Please, can we see you? Just say something where you're connecting from and maybe introduce.
Yeah, I'm connecting from the city of Limbe, and I'm excited to be here to share my experience with you guys. And good program that I think it will empower a lot of entrepreneurs, and we'll see, tangible entrepreneurs coming up from the ecosystem.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for accepting to share this on pro bono basis, free experience, no charge. These guys are here just because of the love they have for the ecosystem. I didn't pay them. This is all volunteering and service for the community. Thank you so much for your heart to serve. Good. Do we have Ambe Nickson? Mr. Ambe, are you there?
Yeah, good.
Good. Can we see you? Where are you connecting from? And introduce yourself.
I'm connecting from Boya ANC Stock Investment Limited. So it's actually a good experience to join other like minds and to build a community. I'm very much excited to be a part of this pro bono and to see how we can join.
Awesome. Thank you so much, sir, for creating time for this. Mr. Teke, are you there? Okay, I think he's not here yet. All right, let's proceed. Now, I'm going to ask a question that cut across everybody, and I'm going to call who should go first and second and all of that. So the first question I want us to look at is, what is so difficult? Why do you think that many entrepreneurs find it difficult to actually raise money for their businesses? Why do you think it's a big challenge? Paul, can you go first?
Okay, thanks for that question. I think it's a very tricky question. one of the things we have to know is that most entrepreneurs feel that they need to raise money, but at the end of the day, they don't really need the money, you know, and they just wish that somebody would give them money or somebody would invest in their business, you know.
Yes.
But, you know, wishes cannot be made concrete without actions. So one of the things we find it very difficult is because when you say you want to raise money, then everybody looks into your business. Everybody looks into your house, because as an entrepreneur, you can tell us all the stories you want to tell us, all the fancy things, how you're making money and the rest. But when you say you need investment, what happens is the investors want to dig in, to delve into what are the nitty-gritties of your business.
Absolutely.
They want to understand. And those things now, entrepreneurs are afraid to, you know, to be judged, are afraid, you know, to go through the knife, and definitely they shy off when you start asking the very tough questions.
Yeah, yeah, good, very, very true. And I'll come back to you with a follow-up question. Mr. Ambe, you have an acceleration program whereby you train these entrepreneurs and you finance them. I want us to start from the application phase, whereby you have to actually screen and pick out some guys. Tell us the disappointments that you have experienced, like maybe 4 files and 4 submissions. Have you always had the right documents submitted to you?
Well, I can say it's a very poor experience. So far, so good. I haven't seen any document that meets my standard. First of all, the very first problem is that they don't even know how to present a pitch deck. They don't know how to properly present their businesses. Most startups just think that they want to raise finance because they think that they want money. Yeah. They don't actually know the right path or right steps to take. And as such, they go about just putting anything to please themselves rather than pleasing the investors they want to convince.
Very
true.
We have different things that we actually put in place. We have different strategies that we put in place to be able to select the startups. For example, as accelerator program, we had to step up our registration fees just people out. Well, last year it was year before last, 2019, it was 10,000. This year we took it to 10 because we wanted to keep some people out of the game. Now, if somebody is willing and able or have that desire to get funds from investors, that person can do anything possible to get those funds. He or she can go to the level of even paying somebody to write a good business plan or business proposal. But we find ourselves in a community where people just want free things. People just want to get that there's this opportunity and they go about bringing whatever they want to bring to see how they can take advantage of that opportunity, which is one of the most people fail to actually do their own research, actually find out what is needed or how they can meet their investors. So that has been one of the key problems we face with startups throughout.
Good. Very, very true. Very, very true. You know, if you heard what Mr. Ambe said, you know, you cannot be looking for money and you don't have an investor's pitch deck. You don't have some key documentation like maybe your business model, your one-pager, your business plan, some basic financial statement that can give your investor some data. You are still a baby fibroid entrepreneur, as I always say, right? Now, Mr. Paul, you are in a very interesting position whereby you have this mass network whereby you can quickly link local entrepreneurs to international investors and the angel investors and venture capitalists and so on. But I'm sure that before you are able to say, look, let's look at this entrepreneur, there is something that makes you to recommend an entrepreneur to an angel investor or venture capitalist. What is that thing that can give you confidence to recommend a young entrepreneur in Limbe, in Mbua, in Mbua to a venture capitalist?
That's a very big question. There are so many things. There are so many parameters. But the first thing I would say is the entrepreneur himself is very important because investors invest in the entrepreneur before they invest in the business. So as entrepreneurs, one of the first things we have to know is You know, do you have the possibility or do you have the ability to attract talent? You know, because as young entrepreneurs, we don't think that is very important. What makes a business are the people involved in the process. So if you don't have, you know, the ability to attract talent, how do you develop a plan, you know, to attract short-term talent and even long-term talent? Because it's with those talents that you build a team. First, I look at the entrepreneur, if he has the drive, if he has the vision, if he has the passion, because you are the one to drive it. If you are resilient enough, I know, okay, it means even though we can give something to this person and it fails, this person will not run away. He has the ability, the capacity to strive. So we look at all those things, the ability to inspire, very important. You cannot raise money without the ability to inspire. Now it depends. Now when we talk about fundraising, we have a plethora of, you know, you want to raise money from angel investors, from VC, from friends, you know, from peers. You want to do the crowdfunding way. There are so many methods. So based on the method you choose or the platform you choose, then you build the necessary skills and abilities for you to pull that fund to you.
Absolutely. I love that. Now, Mr. Ambe, you have actually given money to entrepreneurs, like they have gone through your training, they have gone through competition, and you have taken money and given them, I mean, 500,000, 300,000, even some that maybe we don't know publicly. What finally makes you to decide that, look, this person deserves this chance to actually, we should trust this person with this amount of money? What makes you pick out that final person?
Well, I'm a businessman. First of all, money. So I see that, okay, this is a brilliant idea. I see the possibilities of that idea making huge sums of money in the future. I go in for it. Secondly, we look at the aspect of the team. We don't invest in individuals. We look at your team, how far your team is, what you guys have been able to do. We don't invest in ideas. We invest in people. We invest in things that are visible. So if somebody just brings up an idea to us that we should invest in it, we can never invest in it. Why? Because we don't want to give you our money for you to test. You know, when you must have started your business, put in your own. At that stage, you are testing your business. You get to make the errors you are making. Most of the times, when we want to invest in businesses, we go in to actually see the methods have been doing to correct them. So an investor goes to look in that the most challenging mistake that startup have faced so far on the way, and then we come in to correct that mistake, because it is that mistake that will skyrocket that startup to a certain level. So most of the times you look at the errors they have made, the challenges they are facing, their team, and that's it.
Awesome. Interesting. Now, I have this funny question I want to ask, and yes or no, you have to defend your answer. Let's start with Paul. The question is there a lot of money that people have and they just need people to trust to give them this money to do business?
Definitely. It's of course, even in Cameroon, there's a lot of money. Example, when you bring a Ponzi scheme, everybody floods, everybody wants to make money. You know, so there's a lot of money to give around. People just want, you know, a system where they can trust and where it's reliable. In Cameroon, there's a lot of money, you know, to give out.
Awesome. Mr. Ambe, what about you?
Well, I can say that people have money. They are good money, but now they need people they trust. Remember, you said something that investors don't invest in the product, they don't even invest in the idea, they invest in the people. And one thing about the market is people don't even buy the product, they buy the people behind the product. And that's why you keep seeing people floating over a particular person. For example, if you see Eto, MTN will keep going for Eto every day, not because there are no other people, but they look at the person behind it. They look at that individual. So it is more about branding or self-branding. How far have you gone to branding yourself? Those are the aspects that investors look at. How can you attract an investor? You need an investor will look at you and like, this is amazing. This is what I've been looking for. I always tell if your product is ripe, investors will come after you. That's it.
Excellent, excellent. I see that Mr. Teke is here with us. Mr. Teke, are you there? Can you say something? I think he's having network challenges. Okay.
You're muted.
Mr. Teke, you're muted. You're muted.
All right. So can you hear me now? All right. So I was saying I'm excited to be here. I think this person I'm talking, Mr. Ambe Nickson, I'm actually seeing you for my first time. It's amazing, Mr. Paul. Thanks so much. So I'm here. I'm sorry, I'm actually joining very, very late. I'm here.
Welcome. So there is a particular question. There is one thing that cut across all the three of you, and that's the main reason why I really wanted the three of you to be here, because the truth is that the question I asked, if there is a lot of money that people have around and just need people that they can trust, that question was intentional, because all of you have not only raised enough money for the work that you do, but you have money that you are willing to give out and invest in young dreams as long as they are able to be trustworthy. So I asked a question earlier, and I would like to ask that same question to Mr. Teke, because he has an arm known as Text Brief, and they find projects and businesses in Cameroon, and they willingly invest in these businesses. The question I have for him is, what are you looking for in these ideas? What is that kind of idea that will convince you to risk your money in that idea?
All right, thank you very much. An interesting question that every investor want to ask, and most times people don't have the ability to get funding for their businesses because of things like this. So what are we looking at, especially at Text Breed? We first of all, we're looking at businesses that when presented to us, we could see the capacity to grow from zero to a certain level. Now, the average Cameroonian youth, when they bring up a business project to you, they present to you a business project of 10 million, 20 million, 100 million, 200 million. So I begin to ask them, how do you want to start up a business for 10 million when you've never started a business for 200,000? So my first question I ask is, have you started this business before? Have you done it before? Now, every average investor will ask, have you done a market survey? Anybody can do a market survey. It just requires intelligence to do a market survey. Yes. But you can do a market survey and fail in a business that you don't have an idea on how it runs. So the first thing we look at for any business we want to sponsor, we look at your ability to take the business from zero level to a certain capacity. Can you start this business with 100,000? If yes, how do you intend to grow the business from 100,000 to a certain level? Can you start it from 1,000? If you bring us a project for 10 million, the question I always ask is, if we give you 1 million, how can you break up your ideas into fragments that will enable you to start up the business with 1 million? Yeah. If you are able to explain that to us, then you stand at least 80% chance to win our grants, for sure. Because the average African or average Cameroonian don't know how to start their businesses from small. Everybody have big ideas from millions, 10 million, 20 million, and all of that. And that is why it's easier for people to crash. There's something I always say in business. I say in business, successful people in business don't go up, they grow. Every true successful businessman has always grown. So you should have the ability to explain your business to a level where you can start from the minimum resource that you have to whatever capacity you want to grow. If you have that, then you stand a chance to win our grant.
Amazing. I love that part. I always say it's better you grow deep before you grow wide. And of course, everybody, as these great people are talking, pay attention to what they're looking for. All of these people have money to invest in businesses. I'm telling you openly, free of charge. So pay attention to whatever that they are saying. Now, Mr. Teke actually touched a question I wanted to ask so that all of them can answer. Do you believe in this concept, I believe in it, but I want to hear your thoughts. Do you believe in this concept of philosophy that no entrepreneur needs external funding to start a business, but they only need external funding to grow a business? Do you believe in that, and why?
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Teke, go ahead.
The statement is 100% correct. I believe this, that we don't need external funding to start up a business. You need external funding to grow your business. This is because the first capital for your business is you, itself. So everything you need for your business to start begins from you, from within, is the man. So if the man is made up, if the human capital in you, if the mind capital in you, if the intellectual capital in you is set up, that is what you need for your business to start. With your intellectual capital, with your mind capital, you'll be able to pitch your business to anybody and you get funding without struggle. You'll be able to get you products or clients for your business, even when you don't have capital to fund it. For example, this is what I mean. If I have an idea that I can sell, I can produce bottled water, for example. I have an idea. My whole plan is set up. My mind, my intellectual is in place. All I need to do first is, what do I need to raise capital to start up this business? I already have everything planned. So I don't need to start looking for external funding. I can figure out, then I need to pick up a job or pick up a business or join a network marketing company that can raise me a little fund to start up first. Because the first way you can easily get a loan or a grant for your business is when an investor can see that you have the ability to start. So your intellectual should tell you that, your mind should tell you that, okay, get a job, get something, get into a business where you can be working for someone to enable you raise a little capital to start up first. When you start off, then you can now go for external funding to grow the business.
Absolutely.
But when you just develop big ideas and then you put it on the table and say you're looking for sponsorship, you will have it. It will take a longer time for you to actually see a good Samaritan that wants to actually attend to you.
Yes, very, very incredible insight. A simple question I always ask: how do you expect Ambe to trust you with 1 million francs when you have not reached your own 10,000 francs with the same idea? So, Mr. Ambe, what do you think?
Well, like I said earlier, the very first thing startups have failed to do is that they don't want to start their businesses. And there is no investor that will come in to test or for your business. We don't want to invest in ideas. That's the reality. Even Facebook, when Facebook started pitching its idea, people never wanted that idea because it was still an idea. We want things that have been tested. We want ideas that have been tested. And the only way that you as a startup can actually win the mind of an investor is to start building your idea. When you must have started building your idea, then first, you have already captured the mind of the investor by taking a step. People want to see you take a step in your idea. Nobody will push you. It is the ability for you to take that first step that matters a lot. And it is that first step that will push that investor to know that, okay, this man believes or trusts what he or she is doing.
Yes, yes.
1 million francs without seeing what you're doing. You need to prove to me. And the truth is that a lot of startups go about a persuasive way of getting investors. Using persuasion can never gain you an investor. The key thing you should do is keep doing what you're doing. Keep working on your idea. That investor is seeing you. No matter what you are doing, there are people seeing you. And once you get to that level where you need money, once you get to that investor, they are going to give you what you need because they have been seeing you, they have been seeing your persistency in whatever you're doing. So I can't give you my money to test your idea. That's
absolutely. Yes, Mr. Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, the thing is, one of the things in business is entrepreneurship is a process, you know, and in the process of entrepreneurship, you cannot ask somebody to invest in what you've not invested in. Yeah. If you say you don't have money, you have your time. If you say you don't have money, you have a phone that is worth more than 40,000 francs. If you say you don't have money, you have more than 500 contacts that can invest 1,000 francs in your business. You know, there are so many things that you for an investor to come in, you need to show a proof of concept that your business can actually strive. You know, you don't need to have the entire idea totally made. For example, let me give you this example. You want to start a restaurant. Why not start with delivering food from your house? Why not start with connecting with caterers who would get food from you? Why not start with, you know, going to offices and have a, you know, a contract with them to say every food your worker eats, every plate your worker takes, you have maybe 1% of it. Therefore, you have a business model, you have something that is scalable, that people can see, okay, you have something in hand. Now I can come in. You know, an investor comes in to amplify what you're already doing. So one, you need traction. Without traction, please don't go towards an investor. You need traction. Traction simply means that, you know, you're doing something that you're gaining clientele, you know, that you have certain things to say, okay, this month we have 5 customers. Last month we had 1 customer. With that, you guys can work together, because at that level, an investor is not just coming with money, but also coming with introductions, coming with a lot of knowledge to help you grow your business.
Absolutely. Incredible insight. So if you are following this and you have an idea and you are moving from office to office and knocking and looking for money, nobody will give you money like that. You need to make people to trust you with a proven business model. Now, let's talk about Cameroonians in the diaspora. This is a group of people that have enough money that they can fund startups, but there is some discrepancies. For example, I've had a couple of cases whereby a young entrepreneur reached out to somebody in the US or Canada, and the person accepts that they would like to even help, not even investment, help and put money into the idea. And the person goes ahead and says, you know what, Joybert, I'm going to pay you, and your job is to do due diligence and validate that this person actually has a good business and they have data and all of that. When they come and we meet, I always give them a simple activity or a simple goal. Can you go and bring some documentation, sales records, income and expenditure statement for the last 2-3 months? Let me see how your business is functioning. That case, none of them have ever come back. They just go and disappear. But they will keep mentioning in entrepreneurship events, what is your biggest difficulty of starting a business? I don't have money to start a business or grow a business. So the question is, what would you recommend to young entrepreneurs to do in Cameroon in a way that they can bridge the gap between Cameroonians in the diaspora and young entrepreneurs back at home? What would you recommend? Let's start with Mr. Teke.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. Yes. So this is very simple. I think the young entrepreneurs at home should first be able to do their homework correctly before you go seeking for help. There's something I said when I came to Cameroon in 2017. I said, if you are a business person, if you want to be successful in business, don't look for sponsorship, look for partnership. Don't look for sponsorship, look for partnership. When you want to meet anybody in the diaspora to get help you push your business, go in for partnership. Nobody wants to dash money out. People want to look for what they are going to benefit from there. Number 2, you should have been able to build your integrity. It means put all your records in place so that when you are called upon to present anything, you should be ready. Most young entrepreneurs at home always only have their ideas in their head. They don't have enough documents to present it. Today, I was doing a training with my staff in one of my offices in Mbua, and I was talking to the marketers. I told them, so I was asking them some questions. For how long have you been doing marketing? And some said 2 years, some said 3 years, some said 5 years. And I told them, okay, give me a record for the last 2 years that you did marketing. Where did you work? And one of them told me where they worked. So I want a record of the things you did, the achievements you had, how many clients or how many contracts did you bring into that company? I want a complete record of what happened. And unfortunately, they couldn't say anything. And I told them, I said, to know a real marketer should have a track record of every result they produce in any organization they work. That's going to be like your CV to enable you pitch your business or pitch yourself to an investor or to an employer. So you should have every record. So when you talk to them about your business, send them record, especially those that in the Western world, they want to see evidences. So when you're talking about your business and tell them to sponsor your business for you, do you have paperwork that you can present to them? You can push it to them. You can tell them, this is what I have done so far. Is there anything in track? So write everything down. I went to the governor's office one day and we're discussing something about my foundation. And there's something the chief of cabinet told me that blew my mind. He said, if you run a foundation, after 3 years, you are expected to apply for the status of an NGO. But most a foundation don't get to that status. They find it very difficult because there's something they are lacking. When they are doing their humanitarian activities, when it is in the status of a foundation, they don't keep record of every activity they do. And when it gets to when they have to apply for the status of an NGO, the party involved expect them to show record of every activity they have done for the past 3 years. So most of them will just write a full note. We did this and all of that and all of that. At the end of the day, the board is expecting to see pictures. If the thing went to a magazine, you should snap pictures of the magazine. So every activity you have done, you have to put it. Everything should be stated. This question, I always like linking up to the Bible. The Bible says, write your vision plain on paper so that they that see it will run with it. So I recommend that everything you want to do should be documented. And if you're approaching anybody, get ready with all information that is required. So that in case you are asked, you can either present it through a video format or a book format, whatever format you have to present it. Make sure that you have evidences to prove the track record of what you have to do, you intend to do, or what you have done.
Absolutely. Wow, incredible, incredible. If I would recommend you guys, after this, of course, this session will be uploaded on YouTube so that you can watch over and over again. Trust me, these guys are sharing very deep insights that people have to pay one-on-one session to get advice on how to structure their business for investment. All right, let's go to Mr. Ambe, of course. I'm sure that you have had Cameroonians, the diaspora, who have trusted you, right? I'm saying so with proof. There was one time I was in the US, and I don't know what we're talking about, and somebody mentioned your name, and I love what he said, right? He said that, I love how diligent this guy is. I can't remember the guy's name. I've never told you about this, but the guy was he sounded so confident in how he has worked with you and the experience that he has had. So you have this experience of having Cameroonians in diaspora trust you. So share your experience. What do you think that young Cameroonian entrepreneurs should do in a way that they can attract these Cameroonians in diaspora to invest in their businesses and also trust them to do the right thing?
Okay, like I said before, persistency is key. There are businesses or there are startups that will start today, they run around, make noise from 1 or 2 places, go online and post videos that we are doing this, but when you come physically, you can't see what they are doing.
Yes.
What people in the diaspora need is evidence. Like Mr. Teke rightly said, disprove the people that this is what you're doing. People want to see the physical aspect of the things you're doing. They want the reality. And if you cannot give them the reality, then you'll fail. Now, back in the diaspora, a lot of people feel that way. People have different way of seeing things. And they have people on ground. Trust me that the people that are that way have people that are actually looking at you and reporting back to them. I had this investor recently invested with us huge sums of money, and what he said is, look, man, I've been watching you from afar for close to 4 years now, and what you're doing is actually magical. And this is the deal. No matter what you're doing, there are eyes on you. And if you think that you're planning to one day go on a fundraising stage, then you need to be persistent in what you're doing. You need to do it with passion, because there are people watching you from every part of the world doing that thing. What the people in the United States want from you. That is what people all over
proof of show them that this is what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Teke Samuel said, document what you have been doing, and when somebody asks you, please, can you tell me more about you, or can you tell me more about what you're doing? Just send that thing to the person. And what people fail to understand today is that we're in a digital world, and most of the times I will tell you that before you even, let's say, you applied for your job today, they are already going through your file. Yeah. And one of the key things that person is going to do, he or she is going to go on your timeline to see who you are there. That is your first CV. Your first CV in today's world is your Facebook page, your LinkedIn, your Twitter, and those are where people look at. And now when you pass that first test, they go now to the physical. It is true that what is online is not what is on site.
Absolutely.
The online aspect has a lot to play to convince people first. That is a traction, like Mr. Paul said. You need traction to be able to get what you want, right?
Yeah.
So when you are busy working, the real thing is behind the scene. The real thing is on the street.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not online, but know that online is where the marketplace is in today's world. So while working on site, putting things in place, go out there and show people that this is what you are doing because they want to see it. Keep informing them, keep persuading them that this is what I'm doing. Make them to understand and see the vision. When somebody buys your vision, trust me, they are with you 100%.
Absolutely.
So you need to persistently convince them with what you do every day. Tell them that this is my next step. This is what I've been doing. Inform them. Tell them, and that is how people tend to believe in you. That is what those in the diaspora see. When you are persistent in whatever thing you're doing, trust me that they are going to come after you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Persistence with proven records, track records, documentation, very, very important. Mr. Paul, I have a more unique question for you. Now, here's the question. I'll give an illustration. I was telling a young entrepreneur a few days back who was looking for an angel investor. And then I was telling him about Ambe, what Ambe is doing in funding businesses, and TechSpeed, what Teke Samuel is doing. And I was telling him that there is something called due diligence, whereby when international investors, angel investors, are able to see that a local organization, a local funding partner has trusted you and invested money in you, that automatically eliminates a lot of fears about that particular business. Now, you have a lot of experience in dealing with angel investors internationally and globally, and venture capitalists. Share with us the impact of why should an entrepreneur be part of JCI? Why should an entrepreneur be part of local organizations that increase their credibility? How can that affect them when they are bidding for investment on the international scene?
Okay, thank you very much for that beautiful question, and also great insights from Ambe and the other Mr. Teke, the other speaker. They've really given like great insights. There's no need to go to the internet. Just take what they've said and try to implement.
Amen. So these are things that we didn't know when we were building these things.
Yeah, one of the things we have to know is understanding the culture is really important.
Yeah.
Understanding the culture. One of the things entrepreneurs need to know is the Cameroon doesn't function in isolation. You understand? Cameroon doesn't function in isolation. Before they get into the market, they look for key players in the market. That's how it is, word of mouth. Do you know this person? Do you know Waspito? Do you know this tech startup? That is what is in the game. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah.
So as an entrepreneur, you need to be known by these key ecosystem players. People don't invest par hasard. It's true, all they will ask you, oh, do you know, can you recommend this person? Okay, now you represent some African Angels Network, this person who is in Cameroon Angels Business Network, this person who is in this particular network. That is how things are done. So first thing, you need to get in the minds of the key players. Absolutely. You need to get in the minds. When you see report by BBC, by CNN, by these institutions, they ask the key local players. You need to get in there. You need to know them. You need to talk with them. You need to tell them this is what you're proposing.
Absolutely.
Secondly, make yourself known by showcasing your value. What is it you're bringing to the table? Because one of the things is an investor will not come if you cannot properly do your own valuation. And that is very not extremely difficult to do, but difficult to do. And that is why that's where partnership comes in. How much can you value yourself? Because if you can't do that, I can't invest in your business. As simple as that. You need to learn how to do valuation. If you cannot do it, there are already consultants, all of us here, you can get to any of them and they will help you to do valuation, to value your company, to give the worth of your business. The next thing I would say is the speed of execution.
Very important.
When you're talking with these key ecosystem players and somebody is coming to say, okay, we want to invest in the company, they'll give the money to somebody who has speed of execution. You say something, you don't do it after 6 months. You can say something and you implement it within the next 2-3 months. You have a plan of action where people can see that, okay, effectively there is speed in execution and efficiency in execution. You are not just talking, but you can actually do the work. Definitely you need to learn storytelling and communication. Very important. You cannot do that in partnership when you cannot tell your story, when you cannot communicate effectively. These are skills as an entrepreneur you need to build, because if you cannot sell your vision, no matter how lucrative that business is, it's difficult for people to come in. Before you talk to your wife, before I talk to my wife, I took certain level of approach. I talked with her and convinced her about my vision in life. After that, I went to her family and convinced her family about them accepting me and giving me their daughter because I am a safe environment. So for investment, you have to prove that you're a safe environment for these investors.
Yes.
So it's very important. You need to build your communication skills, build your storytelling abilities, and be frank. Where you think money is not enough and you need skills, especially those in the diaspora, they can bring you a lot of experience on the table. Yes. So please don't just think money, but think what are the things that I need, for me to take my business to the next level.
Absolutely, absolutely. Incredible insight, incredible insight. You have touched the next question I had, which I wanted us to talk about communication and public speaking. It is one of the most important soft skills in raising money. You will not raise money if you cannot communicate and talk in public or to whoever needs to listen. As Mr. Paul said, no matter how good you are, if nobody knows you, if nobody can trust you, they will not give you money. Now, I'm going to start with Teke Samuel. With his text read idea, I'm sure every day people come and talk to you about their ideas. Share your experience and what will you recommend a young entrepreneur should develop, should say to you that will make you trust them in investing in the idea, in terms of communicating with you and touching your heart, touching your mind to believe in what they're doing?
All right, naturally, as a person, I have a problem with people that talk a lot, especially when it has to do with business. So I like my news in brief. So the first thing I look at is how well do you put it? How do you articulate your information? So I look at what is a business? I expect you to give me the business name, because if you conceive an idea, just have a name for it. The next thing is, what does this business intend to do? As a humanitarian by nature, I expect that every business should be solution-driven. Any business that will succeed and stand the test of time should be a business that is geared towards solving humanity's problem. So if you bring to me an idea that doesn't have the ability to solve humanity's problem, it's already a no-no for me. If it's a business that can only give you and I money, then it's a no-no for me, because it's not going to stand the test of time. Because it is people that are going to give you money in your business. And until it has the capacity to solve a wider range of people until it has the capacity to grow and keep solving more problems, then the capacity for that business to stay long is not there. So I look at you telling me, this is a business name, this is what I intend to do, this is what a business intends to achieve, this is how the business is going to solve societal or community problem. If we look at the problem, now we start judging how much we can even give you, if we have considered listening to you, how much we can give you based on the degree of the problem that the business is going to solve. If I could see that this business is going to solve humanity's problem, then in turn, give us money, then that's beautiful. Because we are missing something in Cameroon. The average Cameroonian entrepreneur is missing something. They are missing the point where a business solves problem and the point where the business should make profits. So that's why I developed a definition for entrepreneurship as your ability to solve a problem with a profit in mind. So anytime you pitch an idea to me and I see how you can solve a problem and I see the profits in the problem solving, then I can start listening to you. I can start giving you attention. I can start telling you, okay, we are good to go. You should never solve a problem that will not give you profit. Nobody was born as Father Christmas. As much as we bring every philanthropic activity has a benefit underneath. Sometimes we don't see it. So if you have to grow in this field, bring me an idea that is solving problems, and there is always a way you benefit out of it, and that's it, and then we can listen to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that insight. Mr. Ambe, people come to you, I think, like every day to pitch their ideas to you, since you have a public acceleration program. Tell us, when somebody is communicating to you to join your acceleration program, what are you looking at? What do you expect them to communicate to you?
Okay. Communication is one of the key aspects to business growth and success in business. So if you as the founder or you as the managing partner of that business cannot fluently pass on the message you want to sell out there first to me, then you're not making sense. What do I mean? If I'm selling a pen, you should be able to, I should be able to convince you that I'm selling this pen because of this reason. Now, there is no business that can last without, like Mr. Teke Samuel said. In the business world, like ANC goes, we invest in the future. We are looking at the future to invest in your business. If your business does not have any future, then we can't invest in that business. What we are looking at is you selling us the problem you are solving. They say the world is full of problems. And as a businessman, if you can't solve a problem, then you are not making business. I always tell people that if you are not solving a problem in business, then you are causing one. So if you cannot willingly or successfully pass on your business skills to me, convincing me to actually buy the problem you're trying to solve, then we don't have anything to do in common. Now, if I want to sell you, I should tell you that this pen is worth this amount. It is going to enable you to write a particular essay or a particular business pitch well. And you writing this pitch using this pen is automatically a pass for you in front of your investors. I, in particular, am looking at, first, the time frame. Secondly, the idea. That you have done. And your team. Communicate to me your team. Communicate to me what you want to do, how much you want, and how possible you want to turn that money to give me what you're telling me you want to give. Because in the investment circle, a startup will just walk up to you and tell you that, oh, so I need this amount of money, let's say 1 million, 2 million, and I'm going to make this business. In the next 1 month, I'm going to pay you back 2 million francs. I'm like, wow, really? So walk me through this process of making this 2 million you want to give me. You know, a lot of startups do believe business is all about roses. They fail to understand that in the business, there is something else. When you dive in it, that is when you see what it takes to actually pull through a business. So if you cannot successfully convince me through your public speaking skills that this is possible, then we don't have anything to do.
Interesting, interesting. Mr. Paul, now you have definitely in your experience helped entrepreneurs in Cameroon and other African countries like Rwanda to approach investors. When you are advising them when they are about to have an investor meeting, what do you tell them to tell the investor? How do you advise them to communicate?
Okay, so there are some key things that are needed. You don't just communicate to communicate. There are some key things you have to communicate. So that's why you always have within every startup ecosystem, you have the pitching session.
Yeah.
Because you have the elevator pitch, which simply means that if you can't explain your idea within 3 minutes, then there's a problem. You know, simplicity in communication and clarity of purpose, how you communicate. One of the things you have to be able to paint. So one of the things you need to know is you need to be able to paint a picture with communication. So telling your potential investors the macro trends, you know, your idea, does it have the ability to expand? Is it a growing market? They need to know that, because if your idea is not in a growing market, then you're in a very niche market and you need to talk to specific investors based on what you're looking for. The people, as we said, these are the people required to drive your idea. So you need people more skillful than you. So within your team set, what you want to present to investors are people that are skilled enough, that have the skills to carry the vision, you know, to the next level. So you need people that are open-minded. You need people that have, you know, both communication, technical skills, and the rest. The next, what are your key performance indicators? Within the past 2 years, have you increased in terms of the number of usage of your product? Because one of the things we have to know, as the two panelists have said, is the importance of your problem. What problem are you solving? You need to be very clear with that. What problem are you solving? You know, and one of the things is people take technology and hide under it. Technology is a tool, it's not a solution. Yeah. That's one of the things we need to know. Technology is a tool and not a solution. So what problem are you actually solving? What are your key performance indicators? Yeah. They want to know. What technology are you using to amplify what you are doing? What technology are you using? Yeah. Is it word of mouth? How will you amplify this? You know, in order for you, because one of the things investors will want to see is duplicity. How can you duplicate your idea from Cameroon and they take it copy-paste, not copy-paste, but take it and try to modify it and set it up rolling in Nigeria? So those are the things you need to be able to give, and also resilience. They would want to see problems and challenges you face during the business and how you solve them, because how you solve those challenges gives them an insight to your leadership abilities. Because for you to drive a people to a location or to point B, you need to be a leader. That's why not every idea founder should be a CEO or should be an executive director. So that's what they want to see. How do you manage those things? How do you manage the various moving parts of your business? Do you have a management structure? Because within Cameroon, we know most people are career entrepreneurs. Yeah. What do I mean by career entrepreneur? We are just entrepreneurs to feed our lifestyle. And we don't want to think, we don't want to stress, we don't want to go, we don't want to go beyond our comfort zone. Definitely. So those are the things. They want to see your track record. They want to see how are you progressing, you know, and how are you building up that particular business. So those are the things they really like to see.
This live show has turned into a master's in business administration class with the insights that these great guys are sharing. Trust me, as I always say, if you want to go to the next level, acquire the skills that the next level requires. And that's one thing in business. If your business is making $1 million francs in sales and you want to start making 10 million francs in sales, acquire the skills that you need to start making 10 million francs in sales. And what these gentlemen are sharing here is just incredible that you can use and build an amazing business. The last question from my side, and then for the next 20 minutes or so, we are so good with time. Our timing is super good. The last question from my side, and then the participants on Facebook and here on in the Zoom chat, we have over 37 plus people here, entrepreneurs following us right now. My last question is about positioning. You cannot talk financing, you cannot talk looking for money, and you don't know how to position yourself where money can find you, or how to position yourself where you can hear where there is money and you can look for it. For example, I can say that there are many entrepreneurs here that this is their first time to hear about ANC Accelerator Program, where they get entrepreneurs and they fund them and give them money. There are many people here that this is their first time that are hearing about tax-free, where they fund projects and startups in Cameroon. There are many people that this is their first time where they hear about a Mbua who can connect them to international investors, and he has been doing that. The question is, what would you recommend? What will you tell entrepreneurs right now? What should they do to position themselves where they can find the right opportunities, especially financing? Apart that, I expect that after this, all of you go and search these gentlemen on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and on Facebook and follow them, so that when they share all these their financing opportunities, you are the first to see. Let's start with Mr. Teke Samuel. What would you recommend as a positioning strategy for young entrepreneurs in Cameroon?
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Joybert. So this is very simple. Your position or your location, where you want to find yourself to enable you have access to funding or other information for your business, should be determined by the product or the idea or the service you are willing to offer. For example, if you are in Cameroon, almost 60 to 70% of Cameroonians in the Northwest or Southwest will gladly want to talk about agriculture. So if you are offering an agricultural project or an actual idea, you should be thinking, where in the nation that I can locate myself to be able to get the necessary information that I need to support my project. So talking about positioning, we live in a global world right now, the 21st century, and anything can be gotten. So you just have to sit at the comfort of your home, first figure out. If you are into agriculture, it's easier for you to go on Google and search agricultural agents or agencies that support agricultural projects in Cameroon or in the Southwest or in the Northwest. When you do things like this, it is possible for you to see several options that you can easily access. If you are looking for people who can assist, push your dream, for example, you need some professionals, you need some counselors, you need some consultants into your business, it's always easier for you to go into Google and just do your search. We are in a global world where everything is accessible by the click of a button. So rather than stressing yourself too much and try to figure out moving around, for example, if you had ever checked about investment companies in Cameroon, I'm sure you have to see ANC, you have to see Tex Global, you have to see other people coming up. Then you can choose an option. Okay, let me find out about this. When you get that, then you start figuring out what are the other activities that Tex Global is doing. You definitely have to get information about Tex Bridge. If you get ANC stuff, you definitely have to get to a point where you have ANC elevators, whatever that is. And that's already information for you to now get into further research. So, but we have a problem where most young entrepreneurs need help, but don't know how to look for solutions to their help. So they only sit at the comfort of their environment and they talk about what is going wrong rather than what they can fix with what is not right. So this is how I recommend. What you have to do is that you need to start thinking of why you are going through what you are going through rather than concentrating on what you are going through. A lot of young Cameroonians today will spend all of their time arguing on a drinking table, on a dining table, how the country is not good, how things are difficult, how there is no money, how the tax system is terrible, and all of that, rather than figuring out if Ambe Nickson can run a business in Cameroon for 4 years, for 5 years, and he's been successful. What did he do? I should go and look for him. So I bring you back to the point of service. A lot of the average Cameroonian entrepreneur does not understand what service is. And so everybody wants to be a boss. The first thing you have to do to position yourself for help or for support for your business is that you must understand the place for service. You look for someone who is ahead of you. Don't go there, ask them for money. Position yourself as a servant to them. Serve them with full loyalty. Learn what they know. It is more important than any money they can ever give you. If you have the idea of a successful businessman, it's more important than the money the businessman wants to give you. So fix your place in service. Figure out, who do I serve? If it's Mr. Paul, if you want to know what is Mr. Paul doing that is giving him the ability to connect foreign investors with other clients, all you have to do is don't even go begging him for money or begging for a way to connect to foreign investors. Just serve him. How does he write his proposals? How does he write his business projects? What does he do? The positioning I'm talking about is the place for service, the place for mentorship. Fix yourself to be mentored, fix yourself to be taught, fix yourself to learn from someone who has gone ahead of you. With time, after learning, come back and then see how you can build yourself. If you are always in a hurry to get funds, to get money for your project, you will always miss the place for success. Your first position should be at a place of service. I always use the Nigerians, the tribe in Nigeria called the Igbos. They have what they call in Nigeria, they call them boy. That is entrepreneur, not entrepreneurship, that's mentorship. Yes. So someone can go to school and get master's degree, PhD, come back home, no job. The next thing they want to do is they want to look for someone who has been into practical business. They will drop all of their and serve them for 5 years. Yes. They will take all the shit, they will take all the nonsense, 5 years, 10 years, and their masters will settle them after 5 years or after 10 years. When they settle them, they come back with their own independently made capital. Now, when they're coming away from their masters, they're not just coming with cash, they're also coming with experience, ideas they have learned, secrets they have learned from their masters. Yeah. Some of these guys, when they come back, when it's time for settlement, their masters will have issues with them. They leave them without any money, but they are leaving their masters with a lot of business experience, number one. Number two, they are leaving their masters with a lot of connection, networks, because while they were serving their masters, they get to know the friends of their masters, the friends of their bosses. And so if they leave their masters, the next thing is the friend of their masters becomes their friend. And they build relationship, they create relationship, and that's how you see the Igbo guys begin to grow in businesses. If you see an Igbo man that is broke, he didn't grow in an Igbo land. It is almost impossible to see a broke Igbo man. They will get into business, they will serve someone. So entrepreneurs, Cameroonian young entrepreneurs, look for position yourself under somebody that is doing what you admire and you like their result. Serve them, learn what they are doing, and you will be big in your own time.
Incredible, incredible. And you know, just to prove, to add to what you have shared, recently the Igbo apprenticeship strategy was published on Harvard Business Review as a recognized wealth creation strategy by a whole Harvard. And it's just, I think, not up to 3 weeks ago that was done. An incredible system that if we just replicate, it's going to help us a lot to actually be successful. Yes, Mr. Ambe, can you quickly share with us what would you recommend entrepreneurs should do in terms of positioning themselves where money can find them or where investors can locate them? You're on mute, please. You're on mute.
Okay. The first thing is humility. Humility is that aspect of every entrepreneur that elevates that entrepreneur towards success. When you are humble, you easily learn from the people around you. from the mentors you want to be like. You easily learn or copy things you want to get. Now, a lot of young people in Cameroon and the world at large have this aspect of pride within them. They don't want to serve. As Mr. Teke Samuel said, service, I always say service to humanity is the best work of life, like we say in JCI, which for people to serve needs a lot of humility. Yes. And most of our entrepreneurs, most of our young people lack this aspect of humility. Nobody wants to go below that level at which they want to go to learn from somebody. Mm-hmm. He said that you should be able to work under somebody for a period of time. You go somewhere after placing an application, they get you for a job and they are paying you 50,000 and you're complaining. Now, you forget of learning and serving. People just can get up to do and become one billionaire tomorrow. Those billionaires that you see today have once served others. And through that, it has been the power of humility. Because if you cannot humble yourself, trust me that every leader has a particular a bad aspect of them. Yeah, and definitely. The thing that will teach you, the thing that will take you to another level is that particular bad aspect of your leader. Why? Because each time you see your leader perform that attitude, you learn something from there. Why did he behave like that? There are situations where as a boss or as a leader in your organization, you get to take some certain action. Nobody can question you or nobody can see why you did that. But behind the scene, if you are that place at service, humility, you can best picture the reason why your boss did or take that action. Now, most young people don't want to be able to humble themselves to remain under the aspect of service. Why? They believe that they want to be the boss of their own businesses. They believe that they can make it on their own. And because they believe so, they go out there and start believing that they can do everything on their own. There you see the bankruptcy of their businesses. Most of the times when they make close to 100, 500,000 francs, you see them out in street drinking and celebrating, which is not the case.
It's a life test.
Actually position yourself, be humble yourself, know what you want, situate the person you want to be like that person and follow the footsteps of that person through humility. Yeah. If you're able to humble yourself and follow that person, trust me that you will be able to make it in life. So most people don't want to believe the aspect of believe in that coach and follow that coach in any aspect.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Of course, Paul, I would like to talk both locally and internationally. Because I believe you have incredible experience in dealing with international partners and investors, and I'm sure you have helped a couple of entrepreneurs in Cameroon to be seen in global platforms like AfriLabs, GIZ. I think I've seen a couple of these guys that you work with. Now, what would you recommend that young entrepreneurs should do in terms of positioning themselves where local investors, people like Ambe and Teke Samuel can find them, and of course, where global investors can find them? What will you recommend them to do?
Okay, so most of the things have been said, but I would want to say the first thing is they have to set goals and time limits, because time is not on your side. We are rushing against time, and you have to be very intentional about the people you want to meet. What are the people you want to meet? Why do you want to raise funds? It's very critical, because you know where to delve into. If you're looking for investment in robotics, I don't think you'd go to Mr. Teke Samuel has his own niche. So you have to study your investors. You have to study your potential investors, so you don't waste time. You don't go start telling him, oh, you have an artificial intelligence system that you want to do this, do that. When you have to do with agriculture, things that will impact the environment, the community, then you can go to him. So definitely you need to study your potential investors and know their requirements. There are also so many groups you have to be part of. You know, we've talked about JCI. I've been a former president, a local chapter of JCI. So is Mr. Ambe. And we link on those bases. And based on that, when I travel and I meet with other, you know, peers of JCI, I already have a leverage because of the platform. You have platforms like the Startup Grind platform. It's very important having over 1 million entrepreneurs on that particular platform. Yeah. You know, you have the Y Combinator community, you have hubs and incubators and accelerators in Cameroon. So please get yourself acquainted with them, get known within those ecosystems, because you can either strive by being on the shoulders of others, or you struggle on the ground. So those guys already have a network that you can use and strive. For example, within the ZTECOP network, we are part of AfriLabs that has over going now to 240 hubs and incubators. And we're in a global system that has more than 400 hubs within the 54 nations, which means if right now you have an idea, you have a business and you want to expand to South Africa, it's just a WhatsApp message away for me to send. If you want to expand to Mauritius, it's just a WhatsApp message away. You have access to co-working space, you have access to meet investors. Those are the things you can't do without a network. So networks are very, very important. Connect with the key stakeholders and be visible, be available. We should not send you a mail and you reply 10 years after, you get. So be online. I've noticed Cameroonians don't love emails. WhatsApp has come to destroy a lot of, you know, things about entrepreneurs. I had an event, you have so much people, you know, having their emails, and when you send an email, they will respond after 3 days. So please go online and follow me on my page. On my page, I have interesting opportunities. You know, interesting opportunities. There are opportunities right now if you want to expand to Europe, if you want to expand to Estonia. So please grab those opportunities. You cannot be a local champion all the time. There are things, if you want to stress test your idea, also think, you know, global. Look at Nigeria, go to Nigeria, see if you can start your business. From there, you have the perspective, you have an understanding, because most of us Cameroonians, we act like local champions, but the world is actually global. So you have to act global without, you know, there are no borders anymore. There are no borders. So please be present, have a social media presence, and communicate with clarity the message you want to see. You cannot be an entrepreneur and on your Facebook page, you're always drinking. It's good, but you must not put it online. You get me? And with that, people see you as not being very credible. Same with your staff members. If you have people working with you, you need to develop a policy. If you're working with ZTEC, these are the mannerisms that you need to put out there. And it's very important because people look at your co-workers and say, this man can boost 200,000 in a club, which means within the company, my money can just easily disappear. So perception is very important. Create the right perception, be at the right place at the right time, and keep doing what you are doing. You are not in business because of investors, you're in business to solve a problem. So keep doing what you're doing and move on, and people would meet you along the way.
Incredible, incredible. My goodness, my goodness. I don't know if you guys are getting the value that I'm getting, but trust me, these gentlemen have shared incredible value so far. You know, in organizing this particular virtual live show, this is not I always plan my things ahead, but this particular live show, I planned just like last week, and I reached out to Paul and Samuel and Paul, like, this is what I want to do, please, can you just come in, let's share this. Why did this happen? We launched a business financing opportunity. We want to finance a couple of ongoing small pieces of 500,000 francs each. And we gave some requirements, and 2 major requirements were there, that people should submit sales records and, of course, income and expenditure documents for the last 2 months. And one entrepreneur came to my office and was like, I have never done this before. How do you design an income and expenditure statement and all of that? And he was willing not to apply for the program because he does not know how to design an income and expenditure and a sales record and stuff. I was like, okay, so this is money you're about to lose. And the guy has a very good idea. He's already making money. He just needs to buy some key equipment and scale his business. And that is why I said, okay, you know what? I think that there are some reasons why many people are not able to find financing. Not because the money is not there, but because they don't know how to do that. And that's why this show was organized, to raise these reasons. So most of the questions I ask these great people are from experiences I've had with consulting with different businesses. And I'm happy that the recommendations were shared. And anybody who is serious, go start doing them. Talk with Mr. Teke one time, and they are still accepting files and documentation registration for the text brief. Now you know what to do. Don't go and send a file to them and expect them to risk their money for you. And I'm sure that Mr. Ambe is launching the next phase of the accelerator program. They'll talk more about that at the end of the program. So at this particular stage, for the next 10 minutes, questions. I want you to ask questions to these people. These are people that to find them and to pay for them for their services, trust me, it's not that easy. So right now you have access to them. Ask a question to them. Ask a tailored question. Don't say that there's somebody somewhere who is doing this. Personalize it. Let them understand your challenge. Let them understand that it is you, and let them solve your problem in a very tailored and customized manner. So please ask questions in the comment sections or in the chat box for those who are in the Zoom session, and I'll read the questions to the panelists, and they will jump in as much as possible. Let's go, people. Let's ask questions. So while you are typing your questions, I would like Mr. Paul to give an explanation. What do you do at ZTech, and how can your entrepreneurs benefit from you? What would you like to exchange with them? Now it's time to sell ZTech for us.
Okay, so simply what we do is we help entrepreneurs to turn their ideas to enterprises. So we are more focused on tech startups. If your idea is tech enabled or tech powered, we help you to do that. If you want to expand within Africa, we easily help you to do that with a click of a button. You want to expand to other markets, and if you're looking for investors. So right now in Cameroon, we have about 2 startups, because in 2019, when we registered a company, ZTech Corporation in the US, in Delaware, it was for the main reason was to attract this foreign investment to Cameroon, but we decided to change our strategy and broaden. So we have about 5 Israeli startups. We have about 10 in Europe that we're looking for investment for them, and we've closed rounds already. So with ZTech Hub, what we help you to do is to turn those ideas to enterprises, link you with potential investors, and also give you a critical eye. So we work not just with startups, organizations. We're a permanent consultant of AfriLabs. We are consulting also with the European Union. So we help them to train entrepreneurs and also to link, especially knowledge exchange. So if you have a particular knowledge, especially in deep tech or ocean technology that you want to incorporate within your system, we can help you to do the linkage.
Awesome, incredible. So can you give us a website, an email, Facebook
so just
page?
go online, we just type ZTech, ZTech Hub, ZTech Corporation. You would have everything. Just type Mbua on Google, everything will drop down. Mbua or ZTech Hub on Google, everything will drop down, and you'd have all the information you need.
Excellent. For those who you don't know the spelling, check on his name. You see ZTech Hub, Mbua, copy the name, and go connect with him. Somebody. It's time to position yourself when he can find you. Yes, Mr. Teke Samuel, you guys have text brief where you keep telling us that you have so much money, you don't know what to do with it, you want to fund these ideas. So tell us about it. What is the process? Where are you now? And what should these guys do to benefit?
Okay, so text brief is it's a way, it's an initiative that we created to as a way of giving back to the community for having people trusting us for the past 4 years in doing Tech's global business. I am a farmer by profession. That's how I like calling myself. So we do agribusiness in Tex Global and Value Chain Services Limited. And through agriculture, we have empowered lots and lots of people, Cameroon, Africa, and worldwide. We have offices in the US, we have in Turkey, we have in Nigeria, Cameroon, and other countries. So Tex Breed is an initiative where, because I've had a lot of people talk to me, they said, like they call me, Bosti, I have this project I want to do, there's no money, I want to do this, there's no money and all of that. So I called my guys one day, I said, okay, hey, we have to do something. We've had Cameroonians, Africans trusting us a lot. How do we help? What do we do for them? And at the end of the day, we can't dash them money. So what are we supposed to do? So we created the initiative Tex Breed, where people can actually come in, register their project. We go through their project. We created a panel that would judge those projects, ask them to pitch this project, and when it is validated, the projects are being sponsored. Now, we are not dashing them the money. We are giving them the money to run their business. So one of the things that we look at every of the projects you present is, how long is this project going to take for you to recover the capital that is given to you? So when you recover the capital, you bring it back to the team. The team uses this same money and sponsor another project. So the whole idea is that in the next 3-4 years, we should be able to have affected the lives of at least 10,000 Cameroonians who are independent, running their own businesses from Tex Breed. That is what we want to do. And you can, for now, our physical office is at Bonduma Gate. You can always come to Bonduma Gate. You meet Tex Breed there. And you can call this number for those of you that want to submit your project, register your project. You can call Miss L. She's actually in charge of Tex Breed. Miss L can be found on this number. You can call this number, Miss L, 676. All right, 677-403246. 677-403246. So that's the person in charge of Tex Breed. She will always guide you through on what to put in your project so your project don't get rejected. The most important thing about Tex Breed is that we don't just give you money, we coach you on what you are going to be doing with the money they are going to give you. So if your project is validated, you will join our training team. So we have training. We train these guys every day for 1 month until they get the full gist of what they are supposed to do with their businesses, so that people don't go and then they come back and say, hey, we did a business and we lose the money. No, we give you the necessary training that is required. Then you go do your business, come back, because the money you're going to return, we use to empower another Cameroonian. So that's the whole thing we do about Tex Breed, how to empower people. And we want to empower at least 10,000 Cameroonians in the next 4 to 5 years. So Mr. Joybert, you are muted.
All right, let me appreciate those who are following on Facebook. We have Bukenina, Stanley, Ayako Edison, Constance, Onye Betsy, Mr. Godlove Gison, Kabonke Claire, many other people following. Thank you so much for following. Okay, questions are coming. We're going to come to your questions. Mr. Ambe, are you still there?
Yeah.
Good. You have been running an accelerator program. I have trained in the program some incredible startups that you have selected, brought them together to train them and to also finance them. So tell us more about the program, how people can apply, what is the process, what should they look at, where should they look up for the opportunity, websites, and all of that.
The ANC Startup Program is a 6 months based cohort program where we pick out startups with scalable ideas and visions within the community, and we invest in them. Once you are selected among the startups that pitch the idea, you have a period of 6 months to be in a cohort. And after that 6 months, within that 6 months, you are being schooled and coached on the different processes on how to build your business, your product, or the services that you're putting out there in the market. So within that period, we get to invest in your business, we test market your product, we correct it, and we do the necessary test measures to make sure that your products are being put on the spotlight. In order to graduate the startups, we have what is known as the ANC Demo Day, where we bring forth investors from different parts of the world to come and listen to the things that you have been doing throughout the cohort program. And we also bring forth coaches and business people from different aspects of the business world to train the startups within this period of time. So we launch this program every year. And once we launch it, we have what is known as the ANC Pitch Day, where you come and you pitch your business in front of our investors, and we pick which is best to invest in. We invest as much as possible depending on how brilliant and scalable your idea is. So you can follow us on our Facebook page, ANC Startup Accelerator Program. We post everything there, or you can visit our website, www.ancstockinvestment.com, to get the opportunities that comes up every time. We post it, and we shall be heading right now to our demo day, which is coming out very soon. We're going to announce it, where people get access to showcase their product and get investors within our network of investors.
Awesome, incredible. So much value here, guys. The truth is that if you are serious that you're looking for money, you can find money in just these three guys. I can assure you that, as long as you meet the standards. If you are really a serious entrepreneur, I'm not talking about baby entrepreneurs or fibroid entrepreneurs, all these funny people here. If you are serious that you need money, you want to scale, you want to expand, these guys can help you get there. Trust me. Good. So there's a question for Paul Mbua. We started a tech hub in Limbe as part of our non-profit mission to empower youth. Please, what can be done to increase our visibility and some methods to grow the initiative? I think you spoke about this. Anything to say about that?
Yeah, I would say partnership is very important. For you to gain the visibility that you need to have great partnership and also clarity in what you're doing. One of the things we've noticed in terms of tech hubs or hubs in general in Cameroon is they do a bit of everything, right? I have this friend in Yaoundé. She has a hub called Casti. Casti, that's C-A-Y-S-T-I. And she's more into children technology, skills development for children. So one of the things is you need to carve out your niche. You cannot support everybody. So when you carve out your niche, look for the partners or the potential partners within the community and also out of the community that you talk with. Also, for you to create visibility, as I said, you need to belong to a network, very important. This network will help you in terms of introductions, will help you in terms of, carrying out your activities. And one of the things I see a lot in Cameroon is when we have a project, we look at, okay, how much do we need? I always start my project with zero base money. I don't have any money. How can I implement this with the least money available? Very important, because you're a nonprofit. Finances are really scarce. You need to find a way to be sustainable. So finding a way to be sustainable opens you up to other opportunities and other places where you can be visible. You can be visible through, we've talked about social media, be actively engaged on social media, and also who are you targeting? Very important, because your target will determine how you position yourself in your visibility.
Awesome. Thank you so much. One last question. We're supposed to end this session by 6:30. Time for us is always very important. We don't start late and we don't end late. Last question, I would like all of you to comment on it because it's a very important question, especially at this moment in Cameroon. The question is, what is your view about the industrial sector in Cameroon, most especially the transformation of primary products into secondary products? Let's start with Mr. Teke, go to Mr. Ambe and Mr. Paul.
Okay. I have this thing I always have in mind. I believe Africans, Cameroonians, our own area now, Cameroonians should begin to think of how to be able to consume what they produce. And there's this way I always say, this is how I said it in 2017. I said a chocolate producer, the person that manufactures chocolate, makes more money than the person that produces cocoa. But the person that produces cocoa does more of the work than the person that manufactures chocolate. So how beautiful would that be if we produce cocoa and we manufacture chocolate? It means we can easily simply divide ourselves into different factors. The farmers produce the cocoa, and then they sell to the industrialists who produce the chocolate. Now, the industrialists produce chocolate and sell back to the farmers. Now, the advantage is this. When we manufacture chocolate in Cameroon, number one, it's going to be cheaper because we will not pay custom duties importing those chocolates into Cameroon. So the cost of buying those chocolates are going to be cheaper. Number two, we will be able to understand the plight of the average Cameroonian farmer because we bought the raw materials from them and we know actually how much we bought it from them. So when we are giving them prices for the finished products, that's a chocolate, we will be able to give it with some certain considerations. Why most of the things we consume in Africa, in Cameroon today are expensive because the Chinese man that produces or the American that produces the finished product doesn't understand the plight of the average Cameroonian. So they give us the price based on their own economy. So my view is this: we should all get involved into different sectors. The economy is large. Cameroon economy, this is how I say it. Cameroon is an emerging economy. And everybody who is smart enough should be able to fix themselves in a place where they can function properly. If someone is in the agricultural sector is wide, it's large. We have the upstream, you have the midstream, you have the downstream of agriculture. If someone is a farmer, is working at a practical level where you plant, where you cultivate the soil and produce corn or maize, for example, there's another person that can function at the midstream. And this guy is the one that buys from the farmer and brings it, prepares it, packages it, and sells to the person who wants to produce beer or that wants to produce feed mill, for example. So the guy at the feed mill is at the downstream. This guy is the upstream, you are the middle stream. So look at yourself, fix yourself somewhere so that you will be part of those that contribute in the economy. So if everybody in Cameroon takes part in these different sectors in agriculture, it means we have completed the circle. So everything rotates and moves around us. So if the farmer sells and gets the money and he wants to buy poultry feed for his chicken, he will not send the money to China. He sends the money to the person in Cameroon who produces poultry feed. And this guy collects the money and sends the products to the farmer. The guy wants to buy raw materials to produce the poultry feed. He gives the money to the midstream person who acts as a salesperson. This guy takes the money, gives them product, and goes back to the farmer and buy the product. So at the end of the day, the word currency, the money rotates around all in us in Cameroon. So before it leaves us to go to the white man's country, we must have made a good use of our own currency. Yeah. That is how we begin to start destroying poverty and financial dependency in our midst. So my view is every one of us should take part in these businesses. Look at a sector and look at the area, that part in the sector that has not been affected or attacked. Get in there, see how you can make research on that, revamp the sector and put in your own quota and see how you can better our economy. Let us manufacture, let us produce, and let us do everything by ourselves.
Incredible, incredible. Mr. Ambe, one of your startups is a rice startup that you process. You went to Dom one time, went to the farm, you do all of that, and you have the final rice well packaged in your office. So the question is, what is your view about the industrial sector in Cameroon, especially transforming of primary products into finished products?
One thing, this sector is a very new sector. It's a very virgin sector. We have a lot of opportunities inside. And what we fail to do is the aspect of a lot of us have fall trapped in the aspect of specialization, which means that people just want to do things haphazardly. The reason why the Western world is progressing at the rate at which they are working is because they are specialized in producing particular things. Most of us, we just want to produce everything. At the end of the day, we produce nothing, which we need to learn how to specialize in a particular field. If you are in the tomato sector, for example, specialize in farming, just farm the tomato and allow the rest for somebody that is maybe transforming that tomato to a finished product to produce it. But most of us, we just want to take it from the farm, we take it directly to producing and
with limited capital.
That's it, and without the knowledge. So what I want to advise is that we are in a very virgin economy, and specialization is key. Specialization is one of those things that are going to help us to scale very fast. So wherever you are, whatever field you find yourself in, try to specialize. Make people to know that you are specialized in this thing. When people identify the aspect that you are focused in this particular thing, trust me that they're going to come for you wherever you find yourself. That's why they tell people that a doctor is always a doctor, and no matter how you are sick, you go to the hospital to look for that doctor.
Absolutely.
So you are in any sector in the transformation industry, find a way to specialize in one thing. Most of us, we just want to, you get a startup, say, I'm producing maybe, how can I put it? They'll always want to tell you a line of products that they are producing. At the end of the day, you find them hooked up somewhere, not able to meet, because they take the small capital they have, they try to do everything that they have in their mind. Of which, if you can take that capital that you have and focus on one particular thing and scale on that thing, then you can easily make it. So I want to advise everybody, every startup, every businessman out there to try to specialize in the aspect of production. Specialize in that one thing that can take you far. If you're having so many services, so many products, look for that one product that can stand you out, that can stand the test of time, and then you focus and build it. And later on, introduce the other products that you have. And that is it.
Good. Thank you so much. Mr. Paul, anything to add?
Okay, so thank you. I'll not repeat what the other panelists have said, but for fabrication to be possible, we need machinery, we need fabrication, we need technical skills, we need people that can transform local iron to something that can actually produce, right? So we need a lot of knowledge, and we need knowledge transfer. We need to send lots of engineers within our polytechnics to start producing and to start making machines that can transform our own local products. For that to be possible, we need to develop ourselves in terms of conservation and preservation. Because after all what we've said, if we cannot preserve what we are producing, then there's a problem.
Absolutely.
So it goes back to the same thing of, we need people, food technicians that can help us to really, so it's really a broad ecosystem that we have to build. And we cannot do that without funding and power. So there are some things that are integrally needed at the level of the government, that if that is not provided, then it will be difficult, which means at our local level, we need to be able to produce our own power systems that can run these machines, right? And we need to transform what we eat. One of the things for transformation to be easy, look at the key staples of the food of every Cameroonian home. How can we start transforming that? How can we start preserving that? That is where we start. Somebody asked a question about business plan. A business plan is not needed at a startup stage because you have so many hypotheses and assumptions. So you need a business model that will help you. Business plans were created for established companies to go to the bank to look for loans. You cannot be talking about 2-3 years when the market is already moving. Before you write a business plan and you're completed, if you check Facebook, yesterday they've made major changes on Facebook. So if you are building a chatbot for Facebook, Facebook has already upgraded while you're still writing your business plan. So please, let's be guided on that. You can do that at the expansion stage or the growth stage of your business. Thank you.
Incredible. Thank you so much, everyone, for that. Thank you so much, Mr. Teke Samuel. Thank you so much, Mr. Ambe. Thank you, Mr. Paul, for creating time. When you read the comments in the chat box, you will be so blown away with the insights and the feedback that everybody's sharing as far as the impact of this particular live show is concerned. It was not planned, it was just an impromptu. Thank you guys so much for always bailing a brother out, right? I reached out and all of you just said, yes, let's do this. I really, really appreciate that. I think that this is a very important missing piece as far as entrepreneurship is concerned, because there are many things that they did not know as far as looking for money is concerned. That's why this will be uploaded on YouTube and be shared several times so people can watch and learn and go back to the notes and make sure you perfect the whole process. Thank you so much, everybody. Those who have followed on Facebook, so many people, those who are right here in the Zoom session, thank you so much. And from our productivity engineering lab, it was so good to have all of you here. And we wish you a great evening and a great weekend ahead. God bless you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.